Hi, good afternoon everyone. It's so wonderful to see you in this full room this year. My name's Kumi Taguchi. It's such a pleasure to welcome you here on behalf of Australia for UNHCR to celebrate World Refugee Day.
Those who've been forced to flee bring with them their cultures, their unique experiences, their hopes, all of which makes any community stronger and more vibrant. And I think here in Australia, we speak with strong experience to this very spirit. By being here today, you are standing with refugees. Your support, the actions you take, your successes, your voices in speaking out, the innovation and ideas you help foster, and the compassion you show, these profoundly matter. On behalf of UNHCR and the 100 million people whose plight we all work for, I thank you, and I thank Australia for UNHCR.
This year marks my 22 years as National Director of Australia for UNHCR. And also, and it might be a shock to some of you, but it will be my last year in that role as I hand over the leadership to the very capable hands of Trudy Mitchell as the next CEO. And Trudy is here. In this room right now, there are many extraordinary people who've overcome huge challenges, not just the sort of things that, most of us face in our lives from time to time, relationship breakups, job losses, personal disappointments, but life-threatening challenges, getting on leaky boats and wondering whether you're going to drown, fleeing possible torture or execution. They've not only survived, but many have gone on to excel in their fields and contribute to Australia in many ways. Their courage and resilience is also reflected in the many thousands of refugees in our community and the millions of displaced people globally. The private sector, which is pretty much all of us here, has an important role to play, not only in providing funding, but also tapping into the skills and experience of many of those who are displaced.
So when we talk about Yugoslavia, it's not just one war, it's the Croatian War of Independence, it's the Bosnian War, it's the Kosovo War. So yeah, I was a refugee twice. I had a very idyllic childhood before 1993. 5.5 until 12.5, I was pretty much living in a refugee camp on the outskirts of Kosovo in a sort of it was kind of like a factory as big as this, and they just put mattresses on the floor, and that's how we lived side by side. I'm a product of a mixed marriage, ethnically mixed marriage, and that matters, especially in a civil war, it matters. My mom was somebody who is a real inspiration to me because she was a woman refugee who's also a widow, who's also a Croat in Serbia. Anybody can be a refugee, really. It just takes one war, one pandemic, one nuclear disaster, and you can find yourself in my shoes.
My journey in Australia has been like a wheel of fortune. I'm doing very well at the moment, and I live a very comfortable life. I'm a professor in 3 universities. I just finished my doctorate of medical science from Notre Dame. My position on the wheel of fortune is on top, but I'm prepared to go back to the detention. And you never know. It's the this feeling that many of you do not feel. And I'm very glad and very pleased to see that my kids don't have this feeling. It's the sense of insecurity, the sense of unsettlement, the sense of feeling that in any minute you may be deported, in any minute you may lose your position, in any minute you may lose everything. I think we all come from different backgrounds. We all have different colors. We all have different faiths. We all deserve to be proud of who we are. If we all treat each other the way we want to be treated, the world will be a better place. After all, if you cut our skin, believe me, I'm a surgeon, we all share the same color blood. It's red.
And while Ukraine is one of the more recent conflicts and is prominent in the news, we can't forget, as our other speakers have reminded us today, about the many millions of people around the world who are fleeing other wars, other conflicts, other situations of repression and hunger.
Well, refugees couldn't have asked for a better advocate than Naomi. She's travelled to all corners of the globe to see firsthand the challenges refugees are facing. She's stayed with refugees, she's laughed with refugees, she's cried with refugees, and importantly, she's come back home and told their stories and rallied her fellow citizens to give support. Australia for UNHCR is staffed by a team of deeply passionate and committed people. Last year, under Naomi's leadership, the team raised $43 million, including $11 million for the people of Afghanistan. And this year, on a year-to-date basis, we've raised even more for Ukraine. And when we add up the sums over 22 years, the numbers are phenomenal. Since its inception in 2000, Australia for UNHCR has raised well, I was going to say nearly 400 million, but thanks to EG and others, I think it could be 500 million for all I know. To my friend and colleague, we have some flowers for you, and on behalf of the Board of Directors and the staff of Australia for UNHCR, I'd like to thank you for your incredible advocacy, contribution, dedication and service, and we wish you all the best for the next chapter of life.
Congratulations, thank you, and have a wonderful weekend when you get there.